So you're thinking about moving to Cumming, Georgia. Let's say you want the feeling and experience of living in the mountains, but you need to be close to Atlanta for some reason, maybe a daily commute for work. Then you're probably heard of a place called Cumming, Georgia, which is located in Forsyth County, about 45 minutes to an hour north of Atlanta. If you're researching the area and you need to know some more information on Cumming, Georgia and Forsyth County, then this is the place for you. I'll draw on my 7 years of living in Cumming, Georgia, working in and around the area, and I'll give you the pros and cons of living in Cumming, Georgia. Also, I did save the best pro for last, so make sure you stick around for that. Hope you enjoy the video, and let's jump right into it. Hey everybody, my name is Tim Gibson and I am a North Georgia realtor. My channel is all about North Georgia real estate. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you're thinking about moving to the area, please reach out. I'd be more than happy to help. My contact info is on the screen. So let's jump into the first pro of living in Cumming, Georgia. Number one, it's a beautiful place to live. Cumming, Georgia has lots of beautiful places. You have Sawney Mountain, which is like this lone mountain out there on its own in Cumming, Georgia. You have trails that you can hike up to the top of Sawney Mountain, and you can sit on a little place called the Indian Seats and kind of overlook the area, a really beautiful area there. The Chattahoochee River runs through Forsyth County, and you can do some kayaking, fly fishing, you can do some tubing. If you are south of Buford Dam, which holds back Lake Lanier, Buford Dam releases water from the bottom of Lake Lanier, and the water in the Chattahoochee River right south of Buford Dam is ice cold. So if you go tubing or kayaking or whatever, and you want to just splash around in the water and you are south of Buford Dam, get ready because the water's about 38 degrees year round. I made the mistake of tubing and not realizing how cold the water was. It was in the summer. It was probably 90 degrees that day. And I decided to jump out of my tube into the water and it took my breath away. It was the coldest water I think I've ever felt in my life. Of course, you have Lake Lanier, which is a massive lake right there. And there's lots of places to go visit Lake Lanier, go boating, go water skiing, tubing, all that good stuff on Lake Lanier in Forsyth County. There are plenty of parks on Lake Lanier with boat launches for you to drop your boat. One of the parks I wanted to mention on Lake Lanier is Buford Dam Park right there where the dam is. Really cool place to visit, huge park, lots of places to go picnic right on the lake and do all kinds of fun stuff. Also, another thing I want to mention is the proximity to the North Georgia mountains. Cumming, Georgia is right there, almost at the start of the Appalachian Mountains, and you can get to the mountains in North Georgia in maybe 30 minutes or so. A lot of people that live in Cumming and Forsyth County, they like to take weekend trips up to the mountains and to Dahlonega, Helen, some of those other places up there. One other thing I wanted to mention is Big Creek Greenway is a really nice 12-foot wide concrete paved trail. It's about 6.8 miles long from what I remember. Going through Forsyth County, there's bridges, it goes over pastures, it goes over creeks, it goes over some wetlands, and it's really an amazing, quiet place to go for a walk, go for a bike ride, all that fun stuff. There's bathrooms along the trail as well. Really nice place to visit. Also goes past Fowler Park, which is a major, huge park in Cumming, Georgia. Another pro I want to mention is the proximity to Atlanta. Cumming, Georgia is about 40 miles northeast of Atlanta, which was about a 45-minute drive time. That is without traffic, of course. As we all know, Atlanta traffic can get pretty ridiculous at times. But hey, if you have a daily commute and you want to live in a great area and you don't want to be just kind of in the congested suburbs right there close to Atlanta, then Cumming may be a good choice for you. Georgia 400 can get congested at times. Make note of that if you are planning on moving to North Georgia, especially Cumming. Mentioning Atlanta and proximity to Atlanta is going to lead me to my first con of the video, and that is traffic and poor infrastructure. Cumming, Georgia has exploded in growth over the past few years, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But that explosive growth, trying to keep infrastructure going and building and growing through the explosive growth has been a challenge to say the least. Specifically, I'm going to mention a couple of spots that are kind of trouble areas. The span from exit 13, which is the first exit in Forsyth County on Georgia 400, all the way up to Brownsbridge Road, where they're building a new overpass overpass. That is a trouble area in Forsyth County, especially during your typical commute times. They are building an overpass, like I mentioned, at Brownsbridge Road. For a long time, Brownsbridge Road was the first red light as you go north on Georgia 400. They're gonna wipe that out. They're gonna put a big overpass in there. Hopefully that's gonna help with some of that traffic that continues to go further north. A couple other roads and intersections that I want to mention that are traffic hotspot areas real quick. Ronald Reagan Boulevard can get busy at times. Bethel View Road's another one. Peachtree Parkway, which is also known as 141, and Buford Dam Road. All of those can be very congested at times. So if you're thinking about moving to the area, make sure to make note of those roads and what your commute would look like, and if you need to get on those roads during peak traffic time. Just a pro tip there. Hopefully that'll help you out if you're looking for a house in the area. So another con in Forsyth County, I would say, is public transportation. Population is almost 300,000 people in the county, and I'm pretty sure there's almost nothing in the way of public transportation. I just went and looked up online at the county website just to see what is available. There's a ride sharing program. There's a service called Dial-A-Ride. It's like an on-call, like small bus system where you call them up, and if you need a ride somewhere in the county, they'll charge you $2 and you can get a ride. But there are no buses to speak of, no trains, no anything really. Like if you're gonna live in Forsyth County, you're pretty much gonna need some type of car or other transportation. So let me get to another pro. Forsyth County has no shortage of places to spend time and hang out. Tons of great restaurants, lots of breweries, lots of good places to spend time. And three that I wanna focus on. One that I wanna mention is called Halcyon. I know that it may have an Alpharetta address, but it is in Forsyth County. There is no shortage of things to do in Halcyon. You've got breweries, you've got restaurants, you've got high-end shopping. Really kind of a cool, unique place to visit. I've spent a lot of time there with family and friends. Very close to Georgia 400, but you could even pull off the road if you're going north or south. But definitely check that out. If you're visiting the area, or if you want to spend some time in Cumming looking for houses, or just spending time there to get a feel for the place, definitely visit Halcyon. Another one I wanted to mention is the Collection Forsyth. It's right there off of exit 13 on Georgia 400. There's movie theater, there's restaurants, there's shopping, there's dining, boutique shops. There's a Barnes & Noble there. Really cool place to visit, walk around, do some shopping, hang out, whatever. It's right there. It's awesome. Another cool place to visit that's tucked away back there in South Forsyth, close to Polo Golf and Country Club. It's called Vickery Village. It's like a small little community square type place. There's like a little mini amphitheater there. There's a brewery, there's restaurants and shops, and the same thing as the other places. But the cool thing about this one is that people that live in Polo Golf and Country Club, they tend to take their golf carts and ride down the sidewalk. You get down in there into Vickery Village, hang out, go to one of the restaurants there, get your golf cart and go back home. And there's a brand new place that I wanted to mention. I have actually not been able to visit yet, but there's a brand new place called Cumming City Center. And like the name alludes to, it's right there close to downtown Cumming. It's got park, it's got walking trails, it's got an amphitheater. Pretty sure they're gonna be hosting a lot of concerts there, lots of shopping, lots of dining. I'm gonna have to stop by and give you guys a report on Cumming City Center, but from what I hear, it's an amazing place to visit. So I'm gonna give you another con of Cumming, Georgia. And this is really kind of North Georgia in general. Hot summers and unpredictable weather. And this is kind of a running joke through all of my videos. And if I mentioned the weather at all in North Georgia, I mentioned, yes, you guessed it, the 12 seasons of Georgia. But just for fun, let's go back through the 12 seasons of Georgia just because I think this is so hilarious and so accurate. Season number 1, you have winter, simple enough. Season number 2, full spring. We are actually in full spring right now. It's not quite spring yet, but we had 75-degree weather the other day, which is a little warm for the spring, which is a little bit warm for the winter time for us. Then you have, for our 3rd season, we have second winter. Yes, you heard that right. It's about 70 degrees here in North Georgia right now. We're at the very beginning of March, and on the forecast is actually second winter, not officially called second winter, but it's going to get down to the 30s or something this weekend. So we have a spring of deception where we think, oh, we get 3 or 4 days of warm weather. This is awesome. No more winter time. And third winter usually manifests itself in the way of some kind of random cold snap or snowstorm or ice storm in mid-March. Everyone freaks out and thinks we're all going to die. And then we go right into the pollinating. I've joked about this before, but the pollen Pollinating is basically a snowstorm of pollen. Every flowering tree and plant in all of North Georgia decides to release all of its pollen at the same time, and everything you own that goes outdoors is covered in a thick layer of yellow pollen. We've already had 6 seasons up to this point, and now you get to spring's pretty easy. Then you go into my least favorite season in North Georgia. It's called Hell's Front Porch. That's the most accurate description I could ever come up with for the season around August. It really does feel like you're sitting on Hell's Front Porch. That's all there is to say. It's about 90 degrees, 90 to 95 sometimes, and then you've got 90% humidity. During Hell's Front Porch, just expect to sweat all the time. You have another funny season here. It's called False Fall. You know, right after Hell's Front Porch, you might get a day in the low 70s or in the high 60s. You think, man, this is awesome. And then you get hit with second summer, where you get those days that are 90, 92 degrees again. Then you go into fall, and then you just start it all back over again with winter. So this could be a pro or a con, and that is the explosive population growth that Forsyth County has seen over the past 30 years or so. Now, if you are a Forsyth County original and you've been around for a long time, this would probably be a major con for you. But if you're coming from somewhere else in the country, or you're coming from somewhere closer to Atlanta where it's more congested, this may be a pro for you. But just to illustrate the explosive growth in Forsyth County and Cumming, Georgia over the last 30 years, I wanted to give you a couple stats. The population was somewhere around 44,000 people in 1990. This is for the whole county. In the next 10 years, it more than doubled to about 100,000 people. In 2010, Forsyth County grew to 177,000. And in 2020, the population was somewhere around 251,000 people. And over the last 30 years, that turns out to about a 66% population growth. And on that note, I expect Forsyth County to keep growing, maybe not at the same rate. People still do flock to the area because it's such a great place to live. Now let's jump into housing prices. This could be a pro or a con, just depending on which side of the fence you're on here. If you live in the area and you bought a house in the last 15, 20 years, I would say that this is going to be a plus for you because your home value has just shot through the roof. But if you're trying to move into the area, that could be a barrier to you. This is just going to be over the past 5 years, but in 2018, the median home price in Forsyth County was $325,000. And in 2023, the median home price was about $539,000. And that is a 66% growth over the past 5 years. So if you bought in 2018, you're sitting pretty right now. But if you're wanting to move to the area, then yes, it's going to be pretty expensive to find a house in Forsyth County. And my last pro, I did allude to this a little bit earlier. This is one of the main reasons why people move to Forsyth County is the great school system. I will put a graphic on the screen here, but objectively, Forsyth County schools are one of the best school districts in the entire state of Georgia. From various sources, you can do your own research here, but we pulled this from niche.com. And Forsyth County schools, according to this website, is in the top 3 school districts in the state. I can actually attest to this from a personal level. My wife has been a teacher for, over 20 years, and she spent the majority of her career in Forsyth County schools. She had nothing but great things to say about working in Forsyth County as a teacher. Really, really, truly a great place to send your kids to school. So if you are thinking about moving to Cumming, Georgia, or somewhere in Forsyth County, please give me a call. I'd be more than happy to help. My office is actually located in Cumming, Georgia. What did you think about the video? Is there anything I missed that you'd like me to talk about? Leave me some comments. Do you have any questions? That's another thing I wanted to ask you. If you have any questions, please reach out. I'd be more than happy to help you answer those. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next video.